It's Amy and Tim, and we are back with part 10 of our series, How We Retired in Our 40s. I've been promising that it's going to be getting good. We're there. So I kind of glossed over really quickly in part 9. Oh yeah, and I retired, and I kept going. Well, that was actually a really big deal. So I got to wake up the next morning and I got to delete my weekday 6 a.m. alarm. Now, I'm somebody who sets an alarm for like 7:30, 8 in the morning because I have athletic classes that I like to get to at the gym. But I get to bed kind of late, so I'm not a 6 a.m. person. I'm not an early riser. And that was unbelievable to say, you know what, I don't have to get up early again. Isn't that amazing? However, I'm not working, but poor Tim here.
I'm still working. So we actually made this decision together that I would continue to work for a little while, and so
6 or 7 months.
6 or 7 months. Ultimately, I do leave my work in November. We'll talk about that at a later date. And so part of the reason I wasn't so anxious to leave my work immediately, and actually I was anxious to leave my work immediately, but we decided that it just didn't make sense for us. So it was because we were concerned. So the 3 years before we made this decision to take the leap and move into the smaller space and sort of make this transition were the 3 biggest earning years we combined had ever had in our lives. These were phenomenal years from a financial standpoint. So we had made a lot of money. And so making this leap to this greatly reduced spending model was scary. However, we had ran the numbers, and we'd ran the numbers again and again and again, and we'd actually ran them by a CFP who certified the numbers and said, yes, this plan will work, assuming you
99% chance of success.
Yeah, assuming you spend what you say you're going to spend, and assuming the market doesn't do anything crazy, then
healthcare doesn't become like $100,000 a year. And the plan was at that point for us to spend, I don't know if you mentioned, $50,000 a year. That was our spending target.
That's right.
Yeah. So, okay. So here we are. It's April and we get our house under contract 2 weeks later. We had 3 cars for 2 drivers. And one of those cars was a giant Jeep that was a gas guzzler. So we sold that car. So while Tim is doing all this work, he's working, he's traveling for his job, and I'm kind of like holding down the fort, getting us to our next chapter in life. And that falls to me because I don't have a job. So I get the car sold. Our house was maybe 7 years old. It was a brand new house when we bought it. And I needed to replace the roof for the second time. That means 3 roofs in 7 years. It's in a high hail area, and that's just how that goes. So it was a big giant house, and I was up there every single day, like tacking on little shingles. I don't know what you might call them. Thankfully, other people do that work. And it was crazy to get a 3rd roof replaced. And then I also had to pretty much do the lion's share of packing us up out of our old house and renovating our new space. So we had new floors, we had new carpeting, we had the house was painted 9 different shades, we had new air conditioning, we had new windows, we had custom blinds, we furniture, all kinds of stuff had to happen. And again, Tim's working really hard, so I was able to take all that on, which is great because in the past, who was going to take all this on? I don't know. And so we are in our new space, and it is the middle of May, and a lot of this stuff is all now, okay, we've been kind of working on the house, getting like transitioned and setting up our new space. And here we come. It's June. Well, Tim had been doing business travel for the whole time I've known him. He's been out on the road most weeks. I had never ever once joined him because either I was taking care of the kids or I had a job. And so this time I joined him.
Yep, she came with me to, where did we go, to New Mexico and to, actually, all in New Mexico, to Albuquerque and to Santa Fe specifically.
Santa Fe is amazing.
And so I would just go to have my normal work day, and then I'd come home in the evening, and Amy was there in the hotel, and we'd go have a meal, and we just made a nice time of my business trip.
Yeah, but I wasn't just sitting in the hotel twiddling my thumbs for 8 hours. I would go, so Tim also wasn't doing like 8, he would do maybe like 2 hours of like a meeting here, a meeting there, but have some free time during that time. So I might go for 2 hours to a lunch spot. I remember twice I went to the same lunch spot that had all these great salads, and I think I brought a book, and I enjoyed spending time just chilling out over a long leisurely lunch, and it was just delightful. So we did that in June. Then actually what we're going to wrap up a little bit early today because we're going to introduce the whole concept of how we started house sitting tomorrow. And that is a big one. So we don't want to just throw that in at the tail end. We'll mention it that it's going to be coming in part 11. So please stay tuned. Please subscribe below.
I'll just say real quick before you go. So house sitting, which we will talk about quite a bit tomorrow, plays into sort of one of the passions that we have, which is travel. So even though we mentioned earlier that business travel is something I did, it wasn't any fun. We love to travel, and so
it's different traveling with your BFF.
That's exactly right. So this house sitting thing allows us to do even more travel, and we'll elaborate.
And we're going to be talking about that because it's a huge part of our life, and it's more and more becoming like a huge part as we continue.
That's right.
So if you like what you hear, please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe down below if you don't already, and if you comment, we promise to reply to every comment. Thanks so much.